I didn't even make it 24 hours before I failed. It's life, but I can always try again next year. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ, coming into my sewing room. So I want to get the clickbait out of the way. I know you really want to know how I failed, and it just helps get that little bit out. I'm not going to make you sit and wait, although I know you want to see the kids and everything. But I failed. Monday evening, I got a email from our friends at SiriusXM saying, "Hey, look, the Christmas music is out." They've released a couple of Christmas stations onto our vehicle radios, and I guess they're now available on the apps and stuff. I have tried to listen to some of the Christmas stuff like in July, and I can never get my smart speaker to play it out at that time, but I can always get it to play during, the holiday season. So Tuesday morning, I was in the shower and I was like, "Ooh, this is a good time to start listening." So I yelled, "Hey, smart speaker, play Sirius XM Holly." And I'm listening. I forget what was playing, but the second song is where I failed, which is probably a record for me. There is this song that goes, Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen, but do you recall the most famous of all? And for some reason, after that intro, my mind wants to start singing Frosty the Snowman. And I don't know why. My sister does it too, so we kind of try to have a contest to see who can go the longest without failing. And I didn't even make it 24 hours. I sent her a text and said, "Well, I've already failed," and told her, and she just starts laughing at me. So, yeah, I didn't last that long. The kids had a very busy weekend this past weekend. Friday, Percy had his annual appointment with the vet. He was a very good kitty. He did lose a pound, so he's now down to 20 pounds from the 21 he weighed back in July. So that's a little bit of an improvement. Trying to get him down a couple more. It's just, a little bit of a problem trying to get him to try to lose weight. He was very polite during his appointment, as much as he, complained because he was fasting. Uh, he had to have blood work, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure you want to be fasted." So as soon as they finished doing his blood work, I was able to give him some of the spicy kitty treats that they had in the room, and he kind of chomped them down. I found out on Saturday that his blood work came back fine, but there is one concern that there may develop that something may develop in the next 24 months, and it's just we're going to have to deal with it when and if it happens. He is 13 and a half now, so if something happens in 2 years, that puts him at 15 and a half. I'm not going to end up having to put him through a lot more torture than he's going through, but I have 2 years to think about that. Because, yeah, there's that. On Saturday, Riley got to have her annual appointment. And if you believe what she says, the front desk completely ignored and neglected her. They had to, do their work. They had to take care of any people coming in and out, the puppies coming in and out. And we were just sitting in the waiting area, and she's wagging her tail, just looking at them, going, like, they're ignoring her. I kind of wish I was able to grab my phone and get some footage, but it's hard to hold a leash, grab a phone out, and take footage, especially since I still have this flip case on my phone because I haven't had a chance to get my screen protector yet. Hopefully, I can resolve that by next week. She was Really good though. Everybody in the staff did come and love on her a little bit, so she did not, she was not really neglected, contrary to what she thinks. We got her weighed, and she finally gained a couple pounds. I think she gained about a pound and a half. So, the girl that I've been having fights to just try to get a few ounces on, I finally got a little bit of weight on, and the doctor's a lot happier with this weight than the slightly under. I'm also happier because the flea tick heartworm medicine that she's on is for 44 pounds and up. And when she sinks below 44 pounds, I feel like, that might be too much. It's fine. I'm told it's fine. It's perfectly fine. But I don't want to give her too much medicine. So she's now at 46. So if she ends up losing a pound, she's not going to risk, upset tummy and all that other stuff related to the heartworm medicine stuff. She did not like the noise from the exam table lifter, which was kind of amusing because we tried to tell the other people, and like afterwards, and I'll get to that. But she's just like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. It was a loud noise. It was fine going down, but it was a loud noise going up. The doc got her all checked out, and while she was getting her shot and everything, and when she came back from getting her little bit of blood draw for the heartworm test, she got some spray cheese. I did take a picture on Friday of the spray cheese at the doctor's office and sent it to my friend Steven of the Idiot Quilter because he loves spray cheese. So I was like, look what they have here. And he goes, I approve of your doctor. So I was giving her the spray cheese while she was getting her shots, and she just kind of looked like, what was that? Should I be upset? But she's getting her spray cheese and stuff. So she's like, okay, whatever. The doc did say she needed to get her nails trimmed. And I was like, yeah, we all need a pedicure every now and then. So she had to get a different tech in that could help hold her properly. And, I'm giving her spray cheese to try to distract her. The tech's trying to hold her down. And the doc's trying to get the nails. And you'll hear a clip. And she just like, okay, okay. So she did mostly well, except for that last one. The last nail she thinks was just a little bit close to the quick. Dogs with dark nails, it's very difficult to see where the quick is. Okay, it's impossible. So she was just doing little tiny trims to make sure she wasn't getting too far in. So she did it. She did pretty good. She kind of just was a little upset at that last one, but she was a complete trooper and got to have some more spray cheese, and she was happy for that. Got her home, got her some treats and everything. So both kids, great doctor's appointments. That my wallet didn't quite like it, and yeah, I spent way too much just on the kids on Friday and Saturday, and that caused me not to be evil later on in the weekend, but we'll get there. For sewing related things, it was a hugely productive weekend. Saturday on my 11sies, I worked on the June gnome from Cotton Cuts. I believe it's this one, yes. So this is the gnome. I just have November and December remaining to do. Um, they're probably won't get done by Christmas because even though I have them pieced, I still got to get them quilted and bound. That's a lot. So yeah, it'll be next Christmas that they're probably gifted. Maybe January. It just depends on how quickly I get through them. So we will see. Riley's doctor's appointment was right after my 11th, so that kind of ended that portion of stuff for the day. But after that, I had to go up to the local quilt shop because I got a message recently that said, hey, you could pick up your Downton Tabby quilt and everything because they basically sold out of a majority of the fabric. I'm excited that they were able to sell out a lot. just it's always so much fun to help them do that. I think they just really needed a space to put up Christmas because they got an awesome Christmas display up there now. When I got there, they were looking at fabrics, trying to kit up another pattern in flannel this time. I was like, ooh, I've never worked with flannel. I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to work with flannel. The pattern's nice. I'd have to see how it would come out before I would buy it sight unseen from the pattern. Uh, just because sometimes it's harder to visualize what they want, and as I was looking at what they're doing, I'm like, need a little bit more variety, but it's also going to work beautifully. Yeah, I'm not a flannel person. It's fine. Um, so after I left there, I had to go to that big box craft store where it's illegal not to use a coupon. Not gonna say the name. It might begin with J, but I only go there when I need batting by the yard. It is uh, easier and sometimes cheaper, in my opinion, for me to buy batting by the yard than by the project size because if I'm getting by the project size, it's a certain size, and if I need 8, 12 inches less, I'm paying for that 8 to 12 inches instead of cutting it to that size and then using that as another cut. I still end up getting a little bit of waste, but it still ends up being a lot cheaper because I can buy 8 yards of batting and get like 4, maybe 5 projects out of it, depending on how close I have to, how small of a project some stuff is. Which is at that point cheaper than buying 4 battings of the same size. Anyway, I almost did something very, very petty there. And yeah, if my credit card hadn't been abused with doctor bills right before that, I probably would. So, um, yeah, as I said, went in there. The first thing I did was to go through the novelty prints because I like looking at the novelty prints. They have gorgeous novelty prints. My local quilt shop doesn't have the selection of novelty prints, and I don't do a lot of novelty print stuff, but sometimes I need it. I found the backing for the gnome quilts in the novelty print, and because it's still decent quality, I'm like, that works. Didn't find anything that I needed, so I went in the back corner and grabbed my spool of what is that word called, batting, that I was looking for, and I was it they had a very small selection for, and there's one that I really like, and I was like, okay, grabbed it, found it, grabbed it, put it in my cart, went to the cutting table, typed my name in, and there was this lady at one of the stations, and she wanted some batting, and she wanted 100 inches, which the lady behind the counter, she's like, so you want 3 yards? And she goes, no, I want 100 inches. And she had to sit there and explain to her they only cut in certain yard increments and stuff, and the closest that they can cut for her is 3 yards, and she'll have to deal with what she has to deal with after that. And she also goes, I don't think you have 3 yards on the spool. It looks closer to 2.5. Joanne people, they are wonderful. They can look at a spool of something or a roll of fabric and stuff, and because they deal with it all the time, and they know about how much is left on a bolt or a spool. And she starts unraveling it, and she goes, "Yep, you've got like 2.5 yards here, so that's not the 100 inches that you need, or 3 yards that I would cut for you." So the lady is all upset, and she's like, "Well, what do I do?" And the lady goes, you can go back into the corner over there and get another spool of batting. We have batting back there. Which, like I said, they had batting. They just didn't have. They only had like one spool of what I like, but they had a couple of the other spools that aren't quite as good of what I need, but some people may like it. I don't. She's still talking with something else, and I get called, and I get over there, and it's like, I want 8 yards of this, and I pull up the spool. Like, I do everything that I can to help her, and she goes, "Well, if you want 8 yards, I'm going to wait for her to step away, and we'll just use the entire cutting table real quick while they're doing the turnover and customer." I was like, "Well, if that works for you, great." And like she's wonderful. She's waited on me a few times before. I got to show her some of my projects, and the lady did not like. She was still like talking up the employee, trying to say, "You need to go find me my batting, not me." It was ridiculous. Then she ends up seeing that I have batting at my thing, and she comes and she looks at it and touches it and is like, "Is this what I'm trying to buy?" I was like, "I don't know what you're trying to buy." And it was at that point that I was like, I kind of want to say I want the entire roll because that way she wouldn't be able to get any. And if my credit card had not just been used for a bit over $1,000 on bets, I probably would have done it. I think that she would have had enough. Like, I have no idea what happened after that. I hope the people made her go buy different batting or did something. Did not see that, but I got my 8 yards of batting. The lady even helped me double it over again because it's easier to double over while we have the big cutting table area there than me bring it home and try to double it up on the bed. So yeah, they're wonderful there to me, especially when you're nice. When you're not nice, they're not. And I really do wish that I did not have my credit card fully abused right beforehand, because I would have been petty and bought the entire spool. The rest of the weekend was spent on the long arm. I had one backing already loaded, so Saturday evening I got the batting on there, and I put the quilt on there for that Tibet quilt that John of Guys Craft 2 and I did over Labor Day weekend. That finally got quilted. It went through fine. Uh, had apparently some user errors. It wasn't wanting to advance properly. Whatever, it happens. Sunday, I loaded and quilted the rock candy quilt that is designed by my friend Stephanie Stitches. That was like, it's gorgeous on the long arm and everything. You'll see some pictures in the week. But I did the exact same steps going row to row and had zero issues with that quilt. No idea what happened. But when I said, advance the quilt and everything and start the next row, it continued exactly where it's supposed to be. So Saturday it wanted to start over from the top. Sunday it's like, okay, I'll start where it's supposed to go. Don't think I did anything different. Obviously, I'm doing something different between the two. I just haven't figured out what. I think I need to get my camera out and like super analyze what I'm doing. But it was great on Sunday because it was, it went smoothly. I was going through it. I felt like I was a pro on Sunday with as smooth as everything went. After I got that unloaded, I loaded up the quilt backing and batting and top for the t-shirt quilt that I have been working on. That picture is not going to be in Scenes from the Week because the friend of mine that it is for, he's a subscriber to the channel. He wants to be surprised. So I told him that I'm not even going to put pictures in my vlog or anything. I will show every picture that I took of it and every detail of it after he gets the quilt. May make a special video of it, but unfortunately right now you have to be sitting in suspense. What I did do though, which kind of giggled me or got me giggled, was I sent him a picture of the rock candy quilt and said, okay, imagine this process, but your quilt is in it. And he goes, huh? I was like, your quilt's on the long arm. It's ready to be quilted. I just haven't started it yet. So he got all excited that the quilt is approaching finish. He's like, that just warms his heart and everything. So I'm excited about that for him. I haven't decided if I want to tell him that he's got to wait until Christmas to open it, or if I will let him open it when it arrives. We will figure that out as shipping date gets closer because, yeah, I got to ship everything out. Monday was Veterans Day, and I was in the office because, yeah, while we have flags put up in the office, we're like, we don't care. We want people working. My friend John of Guys Craft 2, he had a quilting bee streaming in the on YouTube, so I had that on in the background. Did a little bit of chit chatting, and I got to listen to it as best as I could. Um, when I was heading out to lunch, which was the last hour of the bee, my phone just kept stopping for some reason. Again, new phone. I'm trying to figure out all the quirks with it, but it just kept deciding to go pause, even though it shouldn't have paused. Either way, he had a wonderful live, and I'm excited for him. And he's announced his Thanksgiving one. I'm like very excited for that. So yeah, it has been a long week. Tuesday, I did get my hair did after work. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so this is what my hair looks like after it was did. Okay, yeah, I had to recomb it because it was going all over the place by the time I got home because my hair wonky at times. I did talk to him about the fact that the purple didn't really take and everything, and he's like, "Well, I know we were letting it grow out because you were thinking about putting color in your hair. What are your thoughts? Do you want to continue growing it out? Do you want to get it short again?" I was like, I have thoughts. I'm thinking about a different product, but probably not going to do that until December, just because of how the schedules are going, and I have a handful of days off in December. And if it gets to be a little too strong, I can have that little bit of a break and probably put something else in it to tone it down. We'll figure it out, but yeah, December probably going to be trying to do something with my hair again. I have an announcement. Okay, I want to do that for a minute. Um, this Sunday, November 17th, I will be hosting another Sewing Shenanigans Zoom Sew Day. This is on Zoom, so it is private, not broadcast to the internets, not broadcast anywhere. Only the folks who join the Zoom can see you. And we're a friendly bunch, so I do have a link down in the description below of this video, the direct link for the Zoom meeting on Sunday. Join it if you want to. We always have a lot of fun. We have enabled people. We get a lot of stuff done. I don't know what I'm working on yet, but yeah, it's going to be loads of fun. The shenanigans start at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and will proceed until about 3:30 or so in the afternoon. I need to make sure I get Riley out around the block before my friends Steven and Walter go live on their channel. So come join us. We don't bite often. And I think the worst thing that'll happen is you'll be convinced to buy something. This weekend is going to be a little busy, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. Saturday is Saturday Sampler at my local quilt shop, so I need to see how far over the next couple of days I can get with the quilts that have already been pulled off the long arm and need binding, and the one that hasn't been long armed yet, because those need to be shown and told this weekend. Otherwise, they may not be able to be done through before they have to be shipped out for Christmas or other reasons. So yeah, I've got to get those done in the next couple days. Uh, Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for my 11sies live. I'm going to have my friend Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches on here, and we will be working on month 6 of Bumbleberry Pie. Bumbleberry Pie is a block of the month that I don't have a picture of right now, convenient. Um, but we are sewing it back and forth on our channels. I kind of twisted her arm for it. It is gorgeous fabric. My one of my local quilt shops does have the kits for sale. They don't have the entire kit for sale, but they have the individual 12 months. So you can buy all 12 months at one time and get one shipping charge and essentially buy your own kit of the 12 months. The blocks that we have done so far are gorgeous, and this next block seems to be more of the same. So we will be working on that on my live, and when we're done with those blocks, we will be halfway done with this block of the month. Then in the afternoon, live at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Stephanie's channel with a few other folks, and we are going to be working on month 1 of the dragon fruit block of the month that is available from Fat Quarter Shop. Stephanie had purchased it already, and she's been showing it off and talking about it. And I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I've been looking at this ever since it was announced, and my arm finally got twisted, so I ordered it. It was a little bit on the pricier side for what I want for a block of the month, but yeah, I'm still going to go through with it. It is with Tula Fabrics, her basics, and I know that that is going to be gorgeous. I have no idea what Sunday has in store with the shenanigans, but I will be doing what I can. It's probably going to be working on some binding because even though Saturday Sampler may or may not have them bound, they're going to have to be done. And then I'm also off Monday and Tuesday. Still trying to figure out how I have managed so many odd days like this, but I don't take full weeks off usually. So I usually take like my birthday week as a full week, and then I may have another one, and we get plenty of PTO for the year. So it's my last like Monday, Tuesday off for the rest of the year. I think I have a day or two in December, but nobody really pays attention in December. So I got to figure out what I'm going to be working on there. I have something that's in my list, but again, that can't be talked about either. So I think Monday and Tuesday are probably the perfect day for me to work on those because get them through here through everything, and um, yeah, secret projects done and out of the way. Anywho, I think that is going to be about it for today. I hope you were a little bit entertained with my weekly shenanigans. I will say that, the pseudo Karen story was my favorite. I still wish that my card hadn't been abused, so I could have, gave her due in and everything. If you wouldn't mind doing the things for the YouTube algorithm that it likes, that would be awesome. It is things such as liking the video, commenting below, or, eating a few Tootsie Rolls, because you can never have too many of those. Those were Mom's favorite candy. Subscribing to my channel is free and a wonderful way to let the YouTube algorithm know you like my shenanigans. Ringing the bell icon next to the subscribe button gets you notified when I go live on Saturday mornings or upload any other videos throughout the week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy and remember, always measure your life in love. Toodles.